People can record also.
I'll start in a couple of minutes.
Okay.
This webinar today. My name is Andy Giri. I'm the CEO of SoftSquare. We have been practicing Salesforce for the last 12 years. We practice across US, Canada, UAE, and Hong Kong. Most recently, we have started practicing in India also. We span the whole gamut of Salesforce services, including Sales Cloud, Service Cloud, as you might have heard, Force.com, the platform, Marketing Cloud, and most recently in two important areas of analytics. One of them is Einstein Analytics, and the other one is Tableau. And we would like to quickly outline what we have been doing in these tough times. You're all here to differentiate yourself in your career, right? So either you might be, you may have a background in transactional processing, you might be doing Oracle work, you might be SAP, you may be doing Java development. So you would have wide experience in various areas of computing and verticals such as healthcare, consumer goods, manufacturing, various areas, right? So you all trying to learn something new today. And we as a company have been doing a couple of important initiatives in our perspective. We did a seminar in April, starting with Salesforce administration skills, with imparting those skills with a team of people from across the world, particularly for, notable people here are Suchin Rangan, who is the first chief technical architect, who is based in New Jersey. He presented a webinar on writing the Salesforce wave along with myself. And we had a series of 4 webinars that we have online. You can, all registered users on our website can access all of the webinar content online. We also have paid training classes, which you could pay through our e-commerce site, which is also on our website. And highlighting the admin course that we taught, there was a gentleman called Bhuyan Tyagarajan who gave a very outstanding presentation on Marketing Cloud for about 30 minutes with a very valid use case. Our solution architect from Toronto, Leanus Nixon, gave a few presentations. And of course, other members of our team, Manivasagam, who gave a presentation on application security tenets of the Salesforce platform. Praveen Prabhakaran, who gave an outstanding talk on the aspects of Salesforce, particularly dealing with security, as well as on the most recent Salesforce component framework. That was also part of the developer class. And then, of course, Yashwant, one of our budding leads, who he presented on various aspects of the Force.com platform, the development aspects. And Kanmani, who helped build our COE related to analytics, she presented on the at the admin class. And of course, our senior admin, Vignesh G. And the next seminar we did was developer content. There was a thought leader from the industry from Chicago, Illinois, who presented about career tips. And Subhash Kumar, our senior most lead, Leanus Nixon from Toronto, and Manivasagam, Praveen, Yashwant, and Seeman. Seeman gave very good tips on Apex governor limits and how to leverage the platform without having to trip on the limits in Salesforce. And with all this, we just ventured into Tableau. And of course, all of our webinars have been supported by 3 very important individuals here. Purnima, who has been supporting us, she helped build our webinar site as well as the course site that we have. Ram, who's our solution architect, and also Padma Sekhar, who is actually heading the Salesforce Trailblazer admin group in Chennai. So we would like to introduce our speaker. I know he became famous in our office just by one presentation at Loyola College, Chennai, about a year back. And he apparently stayed till the end about 7:30 to fulfill his dream of teaching the people in front of him. So he's a very committed speaker, and also he teaches the MBA class at the Great Lakes Institute of Management, Chennai, and various other places. And a very young man, but very talented. You will hear him speak in a few moments. Ashwath, after you.
Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful introduction. I'm very much humbled. I want to welcome you all for joining today's session. And I'm very excited for this session to present to you about data and Tableau. So let me start the presentation, and I'm going to. So is the slide visible to all?
Yes, yes.
Okay, thank you for the confirmation. So everyone, you would have heard this common term, data visualization, which is doing a lot of rounds in the data analytics market. You see, data visualization is a very important component when you want to understand data. You might ask why. Why is data visualization even needed? A very informal explanation that I would give is data visualization is what brings data to life. I'll be explaining more about that in our next slides, but this is the basic understanding. Data visualization is what gives life to data. So now let's get started. So a quick introduction about me. Already, sir had explained about me. I am Ashwath Raj. I've been working in the business intelligence space for the past 4 years. I'm Tableau certified, and I have been exploring tools apart from Tableau as well. And I am very much curious, and I'm a data-driven person. So I always keep myself updated with the latest trends in the BI market. So what exactly are we going to do today, right? Today, we are going to focus on why data is important and where Tableau fits into the whole data sphere. These are the different topics that we are going to go through today. So first, data is the new oil. Now, this is a very interesting term because you see, oil has been the most important and very valuable commodity across the world, right? Or until at least, let's say 2010 or until the previous decade. But now data has become the most important commodity because data is being used to run business, to fine tune businesses, and also to make business decisions, which helps the businesses grow. So the many companies are relying on data to improve their performance. You can have a look at this slide, and you can see some of the leading tech organizations around the world are generating humongous volume of data every single minute. You can have a look at YouTube, Google, Facebook. Every single platform is utilizing data, and they are completely data driven, right? Okay, now, but I keep telling you data driven, data is important. Now you need to understand why data is important. So let me give you an example. You can see in this slide how data is being used by various organizations or for various purposes. So the first one is the targeted ads. This is a very common one, and I'm sure you all would have seen. The targeted ads usually come up. Let's say you go and search in Google for something, and then you can see in other sites when you browse, you can see the same products being displayed. And that is usually done through cookies, but Google exactly understands what you're looking for, and it shows ads of the products that you are interested in. The other one is the recommendation agents. I'm very sure that most of you would have ordered something or the other in different e-commerce platforms, right? So you would have seen if you went to purchase a particular product, automatically it will show, hey, why don't you buy this product also, right? For example, if you go to buy a phone, then it will show many people who bought this product also purchased a phone case or headphones, something like that. How is that done? That is done because every single search and every single purchase being done in Amazon is tracked and stored. So they kind of understand. So mostly when people purchase a phone, they also buy headphones along with it. Many people have done that. So that is why when you also search for a particular product, at the end of the purchase, it will show you a recommendation that, hey, many people have bought the phone case also. So why don't you purchase it? And another very interesting scenario that I can say of how data is being utilized is, let's take an example of a retail store. You go into the retail store and you start purchasing a lot of products. Okay, you purchase provisions, chocolates, cartons of milk, anything. It can be anything, right? Now, this data is stored somewhere. And you know what many organizations are doing? They find out which two products are frequently bought together or purchased together. To give you an example, people who purchase milk, many of them have also purchased eggs. If this is what the data is showing, the retail stores, what they're doing is they are placing eggs and milk adjacent to each other or close to each other, so that people purchase more and more of these two combinations and more sales happen. So this is another example. And you can see also based on many online behavior, you can take case of China, which is now doing a surveillance of their citizens based on whatever transactions they make, whatever they purchase they make, wherever they go, everything is monitored through a surveillance. And based on that, their social credit score is updated. So higher the social credit score, more the benefits they have. So these are some very recent and very common examples of how data is being utilized by many businesses. Now, this is a very interesting scenario of the power of data. You would have heard of something called Cambridge Analytica, right? So that it was an organization which helped political parties to get power in their respective countries. So if you see, 2012 and 2016 presidential elections in US were influenced by data that were collected from Facebook. They understood the behavior and psychology of people based on their behavior online, and through a survey that happened, they understood the psychology of people and they placed targeted ads. Similarly, even for the Brexit vote, they were influenced by the targeted ads. And even in our country, many regional and national parties in India also are now aligning with several companies that do analytics for political parties. So you can see how data is powerful. It is not just useful for businesses, but also in politics, it is becoming very prominent for usage. Now I've spoken a lot about data. Now let's get back to something called business intelligence. What exactly is business intelligence? Now I'm going to give you a theoretical definition and later explain to you what exactly it means. So I want to give you a real-time scenario and explain, but just before that, I want to give you a theoretical explanation. Business intelligence is very simple. It helps businesses grow. It makes the people who make the business decisions intelligent. You might ask me, isn't that very evident from the word business intelligence? Yes, it is. Now let me explain that with an example, because always it is best to explain with an example to understand the concept. Now, before we dive into the example, I want to show you some example of the different types of analytics, and then I'll get to the example. So the first type of analytics is called the descriptive analytics. That means you want to know what has happened till now. An example for that would be, you might ask, what has been my sales from year to date? Is it more than the sales that happened in the last year, or is it lesser? Which are the products that are the top selling products? Who are my top 10 performing employees? Why has the sales gone down in this particular month? So basically, today's date is 1st June. So until 1st of June, whatever has happened, you analyze. That is called a descriptive analytics. Diagnostic analytics, as it says in the slide, you want to understand why it happened. You know that sales has dropped in June, for example, but you want to know why. So that is done through something called diagnostic analytics. Predictive analytics, it's very common. So basically you predict a certain metric or some measure. For example, you can take what would be my sales, or how many cars should I manufacture, calculating the demand in this particular season of the year. And that is a predictive analytics. That is done using the past data and machine learning, a lot of concepts under the hood. And finally, prescriptive. Now this is something that is coming new in the market. The previous example that I told you, why the sales dropped in June, right? That was the diagnostic analytics. What prescriptive analytics does is it tells you what you should do so that the sales does not drop in the month of June. That is the prescriptive analytics. Now, why am I even explaining all these to you? You need to understand what does business intelligence do and where does Tableau lie in this different types of analytics. Business intelligence does descriptive analytics. It helps you understand what has happened until now. Now, I'll give you the example, the whole business intelligence process, right? Let's say you go and purchase some products from a retail store. You buy a lot of products, and at the billing counter, when you pay the bill, you would have seen that the person at the bill counter would be scanning the barcode, right? Or they might be entering the data manually. Now, just for our example purpose, assume that they are taking data like the following. That is, they are recording what product is being sold, how much of quantity is being sold, what is the total sales, what is the profit out of it, in which store is it bought from, and also which locality, which state, who is purchasing, what is their name, what is their phone number. This is left to the imagination. Any data point can be taken from the billing counter. Let's say if you have a membership and they use their membership card, right? And then they'll get to know that, okay, the person who's purchasing is this name, he is from this area, this is his phone number, he has purchased these many products earlier. So all these data are taken and stored somewhere. And these are called ERP systems or OLTP databases. This is where all these data reside. Okay, all the transactional data reside in these databases. After that, you see, the data can be from various places. You see, it can be from an ERP system, it can be from Salesforce, it can be from a local Excel file. So basically, you might be bringing in data for a same business. Let's say there's a company called XYZ. They are bringing data from the ERP systems, Excel and Salesforce. Now, the data is lying in different sources. How to bring them together? Because if you have separate data sources, then you cannot make much sense out of the data. For that, we use something called the ETL. That stands for extract, transform, and load. This is usually a tool that you purchase from the market. Some common ones are Informatica, Talent, SSIS, etc. So what these tools do is they extract the E part of the ETL. They extract the data from these different data sources like the ERP, Excel, Salesforce, etc. And then they combine these data together based on various business logics and various data warehousing practices. They combine the data together and they clean the data, they cleanse the data, they bring it to a very readable form. And this is the transformation step. After the transformation, the cleaned data and the combined data is stored in something called a data warehouse. That is the EDW, that is the enterprise data warehouse. So now you have clean and combined data, which makes sense. Since the data is a tabular form, it would be difficult for you to make any analysis. Therefore, you use tools like Einstein Analytics or Tableau to visualize this data. So Tableau connects to this enterprise data warehouse, pulls the data into it, and you visualize the data. From that, you can get a lot of business insights. So this is the process of the whole business intelligence or the descriptive analytics, you can say. As I said in the beginning, now I want to tell you why data visualization is important. In the previous slide, you saw something called EDW, which is the Enterprise Data Warehouse, right? There, the data is stored just like how you see in this slide. It is stored in a table. The image that I have over here is Excel, but you get the idea, right? It's basically a table of data. Now, with this kind of data, if I ask questions like, as I said earlier, which products are being sold the most? What has been my sales for the past few months, last 3 months? Which products are being returned often and why? So if you want to answer all these questions, it's very difficult to understand them in a tabular form, right? You can see below some of the points why we visualize the data is for understanding the patterns. And by pattern, what I'm telling is the example that I gave you earlier. People who purchase milk also purchase egg. Most of them purchase egg. So this pattern you can understand from data visualization. Trend means, like I said, how has been my sales changing? How has my profit been changing for the past few months, past few years, past few days? So you want to see whether it is increasing or decreasing trend. Then third is to track KPIs. See, KPIs is the most important. KPI is the most important thing in a dashboard. KPI stands for Key Performance Indicator. The examples for that could be total sales, total profit, how many new customers you acquired. No, just the number. There is no visualization, just the numerical value you would want to see. So those are the KPIs. When usually, let's say a CEO opens the dashboard, they want to understand what has been the total sales. So they'll first look at the number, right? That is the first thing that they would want to understand. So we use KPIs. And finally, slice and dice data. You might be viewing the total sales. The CEO might be viewing the total sales. And now they would have a question. Okay, but what has been my total sales in this particular region? So they would want to filter the data and then see the output. And apart from these 4 points, there are so many other things that you can do in data visualization. Now, you see this data over here in this image, right? Let's understand what happens when you visualize this data. You can see here very clearly, you can understand how much of a premium, this is the insurance based data. So you can clearly see how much of premium has been sold in different countries for a particular market. As you can see on the left hand side, the end user will have option to slice and dice data. They can see for a particular year, market in a particular currency, and also below the KPI, that is, if you take France, the premium value KPI is 94,863, sorry, 94,863,000. And below that, you can see the trend, that is over 12 months, how the premium has changed. Below that, you can very clearly understand how much of premium is being collected through different insurance categories. And on the right hand side, you can see which insurances are being sold most in each country. So it's very easy to understand the data. In the previous slide, you couldn't make quick decisions using this kind of view. Whereas when you visualize, it's easy to get data insights. So the ultimate use of data visualization is to get insights into the data and make decisions accordingly. To give you an example, you can see over here in the insurance category, we can see that the comprehensive coverage, which is on the second, is having a very low premium value. Therefore, the insurance company can spend more on marketing to sell more premium value for this particular insurance category. This is how data visualization helps various businesses. I want to give you another example. there is this cohort analysis which is very common in data analytics. Instead of giving you a theoretical explanation, I'll explain it with a real-time scenario, because theoretical explanation, it's not very easy to understand, nor it is very interesting. So I'll explain with a real-time scenario. Assume that you are opening a new store in January of 2011. Okay. Now you want to understand how many new customers you are getting in every month. Let's first go to the first bar on the left hand side for Jan 2011. Obviously, since you are opening for the first time in Jan of 2011, all the customers who come in that month are first time customers. Now, when you go to February 2011, you can see from here, from the data visualized, you can clearly see that 82.74% of the total customers who came in February 2011 are the first time customers. Whereas 17.26% of the total customers who came in February are the ones who first purchased in January of 2011. So basically, repeating customer. Though 17.26% of the total customers who came in February belong to the customers who first came in Jan of 2011. Similarly, it goes for March, April. In March, you can see that 19% of the customers are the ones who came in Jan 2011. Now, what exactly is the business insight or the data insight or the business decision that we can make out of this chart? I'll explain this to you. You can see from this chart, something is very clear, that most of the sales is driven by the customers who came in the month, that is the first time customers who came in the month of Jan, Feb, March and April of 2011. How do I say that? You can see clearly that across all the months, almost 15 to 20% of the customers are the ones who came in Jan of 2011. Or 12 to 13% of the customers are the ones who came in February. So it's very clear that I'm having good sales. However, I'm not acquiring any new customers. My sales is primarily being driven by the ones who came in the 4 months of 2011. Therefore, the business decision that you can make out of this is that you can launch new marketing campaigns, you can launch ads, you can provide discounts to attract more new customers, therefore increase your sales. So this is a very useful application of data visualization. This is how business decisions are made by visualizing the data. Now, business intelligence tools. If you see, there are various generations of BA tools. At first, people analyze the data only in tabular forms, just like in Excel. But as I said, it was difficult to understand the data or understand trends or patterns. Therefore, dashboards, many BA tools in the market started offering dashboards. By dashboards, I mean visualizing the data. But there was a small problem. Let's say you as a developer built a chart showing sales by different products. You are creating a bar chart and you are sending it to your client. The client receives the mail and then he opens the dashboard and he sees the bar chart. But now he thinks that, okay, now I want to visualize not by product. I want to see not sales by product, but I want to see sales by different state or different countries. So what would happen? Again, the client would send back an email to you requesting to create a new chart. So the developer will again create a chart and then send back to the client. This whole process can take few days or it might even get completed in a day. You never know. But the problem is, for simple changes in the charts or for simpler analysis, the client did not have any power to change the charts as per their needs. That is when the self-service BI tools, self-service business intelligence tools, came into the market. The current tools, most of the tools in the market are self-service BI. Tableau, Power BI, Click, all these are self-service. So what exactly is self-service? Take the same scenario. You send a bar chart showing sales by different products, right? Now, in a self-service BI, the end user does not require any coding knowledge. Without any technical experience, a non-technical user can build their own dashboard. So the chart which you sent, the sales by different products, just by a simple drag and drop, they can replace the product with the country. Therefore, they can visualize the data by themselves, or they can change the existing charts and reports or dashboards without needing to rely on the developers. It is self-service, just like how you go to some restaurants and you do self-service. Same way, even the end users will have ability and they do not require any technical knowledge. They can build their own dashboards with just drag and drop. The upcoming generation is full of the NLP, that is a natural language processing, auto insights, conversational analytics. So all these are like the end user can just type a question, like how you ask a question to your friend in WhatsApp. They can just type, how has been my sales in the last 2 months? And automatically a chart will be created and the end user can visualize the chart and understand the data. Or auto insights. Auto insights is once the data is available, the end user can click on a single button, then automatically charts are created to give them insights. For example, let's take a retail based data. When the end user clicks on the auto insights button or show insights button, automatically charts are shown for different dimensions and measures. So you can see a chart for sales by products, sales by state, top performing employees, products that need more advertising. The charts for all these are automatically created. So this is the latest generation of the BI tools. Now, we have had enough discussion about why data is important and what is BI and everything. Let's get down to business. Tableau. What is Tableau? Why Tableau? Why it is very essential to learn Tableau for your career growth. Let's dive into that. These three are the leading tools in the business intelligence market. That is Tableau, Power BI, and Click. I have worked on all three. And if you ask me which is the best, you can't give an answer. It entirely depends on so many different variables. Each tool has some unique capabilities that other tool does not. So it entirely depends upon the business requirement. But all the three tools have a lot of similar and common features. And they are the leading tools, BI tools in the market. In terms of job opportunity also, if you see, they have a lot of opportunities. So why Tableau? Why should I learn Tableau, or why should you learn Tableau? First, let's understand something about Tableau. You can see on the right hand side a diagram. This is a very, I'm sure many of you would be knowing this. This is called a Gartner's Magic Quadrant. Every year, Gartner does an analysis on different BI tools in the market and it publishes this graph. As you can see, Tableau is one that is present in the leaders segment. This chart was created in the January of 2019. And in the current year also, Tableau is a leading BI tool. That is, it is in the leaders segment. It has been in the leaders segment for more than 5 years. Why are businesses adapting more of Tableau? Because as I said to you earlier, it is very business friendly. That the end users can make a lot of analysis by themselves. Of course, for some complex analysis, they would need to rely on the developers, but they have a lot of flexibility to make data analysis. It has a lot of visualizations in the Tableau desktop tool especially, and Tableau dashboards, that is the UI and UX of Tableau, is set as a benchmark for various charts. It is set to have the best chart quality among all the BI tools in the market. Tableau can connect to a lot of data sources. It can connect to big data platforms. It can connect to traditional data warehouses like SQL Server, Oracle. It can connect to Salesforce as well. And another interesting thing is that it can bring data from different systems and combine them together. For example, you might have a data coming from Salesforce and another data present in Oracle. You can combine these two data sources inside of Tableau itself, and you can understand and visualize the data. It is very good with handling huge volume of data. As you can see, in nowadays, big data is being big data platforms are being utilized a lot, and Tableau is very good at handling huge volume of data. And the coding, I'm sure many people are, not many, some people, they don't prefer coding, right? And Tableau is a tool that does not require you to code a lot. You just need to understand some simple syntaxes and you will be able to write even the most complex statements. That is another useful feature of Tableau, and it has huge customer base. Let me show it to you in the next slide. You can see the customers of Tableau. To mention a few, JP Morgan, Barclays, Wells Fargo, these are some of the leading banks in the world. In the consumer goods, PepsiCo, Coca-Cola, Walmart, and under tech, you have Tesla uses Tableau, Intel, LinkedIn, Cisco. In engineering, ExxonMobil, Caterpillar. And another interesting thing is US Air Force and US Army are using Tableau for data insights and data visualization. And even United Nations has adapted Tableau as their standard visualization platform. They have more than 95,000 customers worldwide. There are many customers in India also. Government of Rajasthan is using Tableau for their analysis. There's also a leading private bank in India that is using Tableau for their analytics, and they have invested heavily in Tableau. They have one of the largest deployments in the world, the private bank in India. Many of the Fortune 500 companies use Tableau. Therefore, you can see there's a huge demand for Tableau developers across the world. And in terms of job opportunities as well, there's abundant openings that are present in the market. You can check in LinkedIn and you can see there are so many openings available for Tableau. Now that the restrictions for the COVID-19 are slowly being taken away, again, there will be huge resurgence and demand for Tableau developers. So it is a very good time to get your hands-on experience in Tableau. How are these organizations exactly using Tableau? You can see Ernst & Young, which is a leading auditing firm, and they also provide consultancy services across various domains. They are using Tableau to predict fraud and stop them. And that is helping them to save a huge amount of money. Coca-Cola, they have data from various systems. Like I told earlier, Tableau can combine data from the, one source can be from a big data platform, another can be from a cloud database, one from Salesforce, another from Excel. So it can bring data from various systems and it can visualize. So Coca-Cola, as you can see, is using Tableau for improving their sales and also for marketing purposes to increase the their spread across the world. And Lenovo, as you can see, a very interesting thing is they have seen a 95% improvement in their report creation efficiency. And to name another few, you can see PepsiCo, they have seen a 90% reduction in report generation time. ExxonMobil has saved 95% dashboard development time when using Tableau, and around 90,000 users, 90,000 employees in ExxonMobil are using Tableau to analyze their data. And same way you have for Walmart, Cisco. These are to name a few, but Tableau is being used worldwide by leading organizations to make many important business decisions. So these are different products that are part of Tableau. So you go and purchase Tableau, you get different products. This I'll be explaining when we start off our workshop. Just to give you a quick overview, Tableau Desktop is one of those products. So Tableau Desktop is where you visualize the data and provide data insights to the end users. And Tableau Server is where end users, that is the business users, consume those dashboards. I'll be going much deeper in our hands-on workshop session. I also want to show you here Tableau Public. That is the free version of Tableau. You can connect to any local files. It is not possible to connect to any databases, but you can connect to local files like CSV, Excel to visualize the data, and you can analyze them. But remember, any dashboard that you make using Tableau Public does not have any security. By that, what I mean is once you create a dashboard, you will have to publish it to your Tableau Public account. Just like imagine a social media account like Twitter or Facebook, right? Same way, you will have to publish the dashboard to your Tableau Public account. And anyone with the URL of that particular dashboard can access it. Therefore, only for creating your portfolio or for practice purposes, you should use Tableau Public. These are, like I said, this is another product in Tableau, which is Tableau Prep. This is used to cleanse the data, like I told, the ETL flow, right? This is not an enterprise level ETL tool. They are slowly working on that, but it can be used to join data from various data sources, clean the data, apply various business logics, and the output of Tableau Prep can be used to visualize data in Tableau Desktop. I'll be going into a deeper analysis in our workshop session. In the Tableau Desktop, like I said earlier, this is the workhorse of the whole Tableau suite of products. This is where you visualize the data to give business insights. And Tableau Server or online is where the end users access these dashboards. And what do I mean by this is in your local laptop, you might be having Tableau Desktop and you are building your dashboards, but your client might be in, let's say, London, and they might want to access this workbook, right? So the workbook complexity might be high, the size might be high, so you cannot just send it over mail. So what you do is you publish those Tableau dashboards that you develop in your laptop, you publish them to something called Tableau Server, which can be accessed by your business users. There can be in any geography. All that would be required is their machine should have access to Tableau Server. That's it. Just like how you just go and type, for example, any social media URL, and you give user ID and password, and you log in into your account. Same way for Tableau Server or online, you will have a URL which when you search in Chrome or any other browser, you will have to enter your user ID and password, and those dashboards which were developed in your laptop can be accessed by anyone across the world, provided they have the permissions. I'll be going much deeper into it during the workshop session. So what exactly are we going to do in the Tableau workshop that we have planned? The workshop is going to be a completely hands-on exercises. I'll be going deep into the various features and capabilities of Tableau Desktop, and I'll also be explaining to you how you can use those features to address various business questions. You will also get a question bank. There'll be a lot of questions which I'll be sharing with you so that you can practice it. It will be available to you even after the session is completed. So you can practice whatever you have learned in a session. You can practice it using those questions. The third point is sort of my favorite one. See, you can build amazing dashboards that give great data insights. But then if the end user is opening the dashboard and if it takes 2 minutes to load, then it doesn't matter because the end users won't wait that long for the dashboard to open. So I'll also be explaining not just on the Tableau features, but on the best practices and on how you can increase or optimize the performance of Tableau. And also this hands-on workshop will help you in preparation for any certification that you do in Tableau. This will be like an it will give you an idea and a very deep understanding of various products in Tableau. So it will be easier for you when you prepare for certification later. To give a deep understanding of the different topics, these are some of the topics we'll be covering in our workshop session. As you can see, we have extensive features and capabilities of Tableau that we'll be covering, and we'll be going very deep into each one of them to help you understand how it can be used to solve business questions and insights. I'd be happy to take any questions from your end regarding Tableau or regarding the workshop. You can use the chat window to ask the questions, or also you can use this audio platform to post your questions or ask your questions.
Could you please explain how the Tableau work with the Salesforce?
Right. So Tableau has an inbuilt connector for Salesforce. You can directly connect from Tableau desktop to your Salesforce platform. You just have to give your the URL of your instance in Salesforce, and the authentication will also happen inside of Tableau desktop. And you can connect to the various tables that are present in Salesforce, and you can visualize the data. To put it in a very simple manner, it will take less than a minute for you to establish a relationship between Tableau and your Salesforce instance, and you can pull all the data and you can visualize it.
So the course should be like it's explained only about Tableau, or it's going to be like how the Tableau work with the Salesforce.
Right. So this course is going to focus more on Tableau and its capabilities. Salesforce, I'll be probably giving you some idea on how it can be done. I'll be showing you how we can do it, but we will be doing it at the introduction level. So this workshop is primarily going to be on Tableau for helping you to grow in your career and also gain data insights. The integration with Salesforce will be giving an introduction if time permits.
Thank you. And I have one last question.
Yes,
and,
please.
You said the course will help you for prepare for the certification, right? So it should be like it's a Tableau certification, or I'm sorry, I don't know about that. So if there anything like in a Salesforce, they have a certification like Tableau combined.
Okay. So yeah, again, please feel free to ask any question. So the certification that I have mentioned is Tableau have their own certifications. That is what I'm talking about. They have different certifications, and this workshop will help you in preparation for, make you familiarized with the preparation for Tableau Desktop Specialist and the Certified Desktop Associate. So these are certifications in Tableau, and this workshop will definitely help you in your preparation for those certifications. And yeah, those certifications are directly from Tableau.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
There is another question, Ashwath, from the audience. I will answer that first, and if you can add it. The gentleman is asking about the difference between Tableau and Einstein. This is Andy Giri again. Tableau and Einstein are both owned by Salesforce.com, while Einstein was developed through an acquisition in 2014 as Wave Analytics and eventually evolved as Einstein Analytics. Okay, let me clarify what Einstein is. Einstein is both BI and AI. So when you say BI, it in some ways competes against Tableau. When you say AI, it has vision, it has NLP, natural language processing, it has speech speech recognition, it has OCR, those are different, right? That's AI. So Einstein BI versus Einstein Tableau, the way Salesforce is positioning them, because their same sales teams sell both products. If most of the data resides in Salesforce ecosystem, which could be in sales, service, CPQ, commerce, any of the aspects of Salesforce, or any of the products within the Salesforce ecosystem, then go for Einstein Analytics, is what Salesforce recommends. If most of the data resides outside of Salesforce, in SAP or Oracle or in some custom Java system, then you go towards Tableau. So both do coexist, and there is differences. There could be a lot of similarities. We are not experts in both, or at least I'm not an expert in both. Ashwath is far more stronger in Tableau than Einstein. So if anyone else has any opinion, maybe Raj, you have a take at this beyond what I said.
Ashwath here again. So regarding the differences, so see, Tableau has been like Andy Giri told right now, that was the right point. When your data resides within the Salesforce ecosystem, then Einstein Analytics is a good choice. And also you can connect with Tableau. Tableau and Salesforce integrate well together, so you can also do that. But let's say your data residing on various different platforms like cloud, big data platforms, or relational databases. It is very easy to pull those data from different systems and visualize in Tableau. Tableau is more on the data visualization, that is its specialization, but they are also slowly moving towards different augmented intelligence, that is the different AI and machine learning capabilities. They are introducing it just like how Einstein Analytics has them.
Hi Ashwath, it's Anand.
Yeah.
Ashwath, right now I'm working in Einstein, but I'm a Click guy, and Salesforce is new to me. So I just request you just go through and explore the Einstein, because I need some help. And I will expect next section regarding the Einstein and everything. So I might give this my request only.
I'm sorry, can you repeat your question again, please?
I will just request you that go for Einstein, and you have a Tableau expertise. So I'm expecting just a session on the Einstein also, that if possible in future, you just make it happen. So I'm struggling Einstein.
Okay. Yeah, I definitely appreciate you letting us know about this. We definitely will plan sometime in the future or the near future to also make a workshop on the Einstein Analytics. Okay. I have one more question from Balaji Rajagopalan. Will Tableau help freshers or people with career break to hunt job, and is any coding prerequisite is there? Okay, first there are 3 questions, so I'll explain one by one. Will Tableau help freshers? Absolutely, it will help you. And as you would have seen in one of the slides that I showed you, so many different organizations across different industries use Tableau. And now the world is data driven, and many organizations are making their decisions using data analytics, right? So since Tableau is a leading platform and has such a huge customer base that is more than 95,000, definitely there are job openings and job opportunities which freshers can also apply. I would recommend you go to LinkedIn and you can search for Tableau jobs, and you can see there are several opportunities for experience as well as for freshers. And if not, it will definitely help you in getting a push start into your career. And career break, absolutely. I have personally trained many people who have moved from testing to data analytics, and they started off with Tableau. I also know people who have been on the web application, that is, JavaScript, Node.js, AngularJS. From there also they moved to data analytics through Tableau. So they successfully landed in some of the leading organizations by learning Tableau. And coding, as I said earlier, only prerequisite, and this is not mandatory, that I would say is if you know SQL, some basic SQL. Even if you don't know, that's not a problem. I'll explain in the workshop the basics. the prerequisite is nothing. You did not know any coding. SQL, if you know, it will help. And even inside of Tableau, you don't have anything like a huge Java Eclipse environment. You don't write lots of codes of lines. So no prerequisite is required for any coding languages. If you know SQL, it will be helpful. You can understand more quickly. If not, no problem. You can still join. In the beginning session, I'll be giving you a basic idea about SQL. Lakshmi Sharda has the same question. Prerequisite? Yes, there is no prerequisite. Even if you are completely new to IT, you can still enroll for this course. Thank you. The name is not there. Participant 15. You're a Salesforce administrator. How will Tableau certification help in your career? Definitely. Now Salesforce has acquired Tableau, and in the very near future, Tableau will be could be a standard offering in this whole Salesforce analytics stack. Therefore, if you know Salesforce administration and also you know the data visualization platform of Tableau, it will definitely help a lot in your career, since you would be knowing the Salesforce part as well as the visualization part.
Yeah, I would like to add to that, Ashwath. For the person who asked the last question, Salesforce clearly understands that they coexist with several other software vendors like Oracle and SAP, and a huge length of others. So they definitely know data resides outside of their ecosystem, right? They clearly assume there are integrations that Salesforce has through MuleSoft. So when Tableau is in Salesforce's hands, it's not like Tableau is going to be Salesforceized. It will be part of the overall software landscape. And being a Salesforce admin would definitely help you in organizations where they leverage Tableau for the visualization and Salesforce for the CRM or other purpose, or ERP or any post-processing purpose. So it's a combination, right? I think the preferred tool in Salesforce ecosystem now has been as Einstein Analytics, because Salesforce would cross-sell it. But I'm sure they would also cross-sell Tableau in situations where Tableau is a better fit. So the question, the answer is yes, as Ashwath said. But if you have both skills, I'm sure it will be useful. And Einstein Analytics also would be a good add-on to your skill set, because both are visualization, right? So both, and Einstein Analytics also has prediction builders, and there are and a few other tools which will help you with post-processing the visualization or the data predictive analytics that is built, that is acquired from the tool. So I'm thinking that Salesforce will build more integrations with Tableau also to achieve that kind of post-processing ability.
Just to add one more point, I know many customers, and also there are many customer stories even in Tableau website, where they have the data source as Salesforce and they visualize using Tableau. So if you're a person who already knows Salesforce and if you're learning Tableau, then I would say it adds a feather on your cap in terms of your career, right? So it's not just on the data source part, which is the Salesforce, but you will also be able to provide insights using those data when you learn Tableau. So more of, you can say that it becomes a stack requirement. You know both the back end as well as the front end, which is the Tableau visualization. So yeah, definitely that will help you in your career.
There's a last question from Balaji again. It's more like tool customization for customer based on this requirement.
Any other questions? Please feel free to ask through chat or how applicable is Tableau knowledge to Einstein Analytics BI? Both are completely different products, right? Einstein Analytics has been a part of Salesforce already. And now recently, last year on June 10th, Tableau was acquired by Salesforce. Those two are completely different tools, but in the very near future, they both will be complementing each other. like as you see, Einstein Analytics is very good at AI and ML capabilities, and that is what it does best. And Tableau is best at the data visualization. So if you know Einstein Analytics, that is something which will help you in doing the AI and ML operations, and Tableau will help you in the descriptive analytics as we discussed earlier. Can you share the details about the workshop, the time frame? Yes, we'll be sharing it very shortly. The workshop, we are planning to start it from day after tomorrow. That is the 4th of June. And the workshop will go on for 10 days. And we will be covering all the topics that we saw in the slide to help you understand the capabilities and features of Tableau. So it starts from 4th June and it will get completed on 14th June. We will be having sessions every day for a few hours. We'll be sending the clear schedule right after the session. Sheila, thank you so much. Happy to know that you like the presentation. Will this workshop benefit only if the organization or user is Tableau? See, you can put it in twofold. Let's take it from the organization perspective, right? Many organizations have been traditionally using Excel to analyze their data. Only Excel has been used until now. But slowly, all the businesses are understanding how powerful data visualization is. So, if you learn Tableau, how it can add a value to your organization, even if they are not using Excel, is you can go and suggest to them and showcase to them how powerful is Tableau, and you can really impress them on how it can help them understand a lot of business questions. So that is one part. The second part is, since many organizations are using or moving from Excel to Tableau, maybe if right now, if your organization does not use Tableau, it's high possibility that they'll be moving to Tableau in the near future. So from the organization perspective, that will be useful. From the user perspective, in your career growth, or if you're planning to make a shift from if you're planning to make a shift to data analytics, Tableau is a very good way to do that, since many platforms are using Tableau. So at the organization level, as well as for your personal career, starting off and learning with Tableau will be very useful. I request all of you to check the chat window. The URLs regarding the sessions are being shared. You can click on those links and get to know about the workshop. Yeah, you're welcome, Sheila. Yes, Sharmila, we maybe sharing this after the session. We'll let you know on this.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm happy to know that it has been useful for you, Govind.
It was a nice presentation, Ashwath. Can you please go to that Gartner chart you have shown during your presentation?
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, can you please? If you guys are in the IT industry for more than 15 years, you might have heard of these many of these tools during 2003 to 2005-6. That period, there was a boom in ETL OLAP tools. But you can see most of the tools are almost outdated because of the cloud adoption and the capabilities of modern visualization tools with AI or ML capabilities. You can see, is Einstein Analytics there? No. Salesforce. In the fourth quarter, visually, there is, you can see Salesforce, that is Einstein Analytics, but Tableau's in the leaders table. It was even before Salesforce acquired Tableau. Salesforce acquired Tableau for 15.7 billion. That was the biggest acquisition by Salesforce so far. That will give additional value for the people working on Tableau. So there will be a lots and lots of job opportunities for Tableau certification courses. As you guys heard the wonderful session from Ashwath Raj, please to register for the workshop. Thank you all. Thank you, Ashwath.
Thank you, sir. Thank you all for attending the session. Looking forward to see you all in the workshop. Thanks for being a great audience. Thank you.